Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Kizer Gemini. This knife did come from the Lefty Pass Around group. I do not get to keep it. It will be going back to them after this review. All right, jumping into specs, we have an overall length of 7.25 inches, blade length of 3.12 inches, and a blade to handle ratio of 75%. So 80% blade to handle ratio is going to be that sweet spot where, you know, it's kind of got that like Shirogorov aesthetic. So that's going to be, you know, we're a little shy of that here. And you can tell the handle looks way longer than the blade. Now we are rocking Nitro V steel, and that's going to come with 3 out of 10 for edge retention. So it's not winning any awards there. 7 out of 10 for ease of sharpening. And edge retention and ease of sharpening are always going to be on opposite sides of the spectrum. The lower one is, the higher the other is going to be. We have a 7.5 out of 10 for toughness, and then a 7 out of 10 for corrosion resistance. Now, luckily, Kizer listed the HRC on their website at 61 to 62. And we're sporting what I assume to be black PVD, because this definitely isn't DLC, but I also don't think it's paint. So I'm going to say probably PVD coated blade, which is cool because that will help out with corrosion resistance. We have a nice plain Jane drop point style blade, and this does have a full flat grind, so it's going to be plenty slicey, like cut through boxes and things like that. We're rocking a medium carry. Yeah, I'd say barely a medium. It's more like a shallow carry, I think, because you're going to have about this much sticking up out of your pants. Overall weight's coming in at about 3 ounces on the dot, and as with all Kizer knives, this is coming from China. Now, a quick size comparison up against the Concept Shard. And the Vosti Parallel, and the Kizer Gemini is going to pretty much land right in between those two. It's just shy of a full-size knife because it's coming in 7.25 inches, so I guess not just shy, it's a little shy of a full-size knife. As far as the build quality goes, I mean, it's Kizer, right? So they put this together amazingly, right? But the nature of these materials is they're not gonna quite feel like the most premium build. Like, I don't care how well you put together steel liners and Ultim. It's, you know, it's only gonna inspire so much confidence, right? So like, it's a little, like if you squeeze down on it, it's a little bendy. I don't know if you're getting that in the camera. So the build quality is fantastic, but just keep in mind that there's only so solid a knife can feel, kind of like with Benchmates, right? The bug outs, even if you love the bug out, just holding on to it doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence because of those groovery scales, right? So kind of the same thing here. But I will say, overall, it feels great to hold. I mean, I'm getting a full 4-finger grip on it. I'm not feeling any hot spots. It's got a nice, relatively neutral handle. So, the only conforming I have to do is stay behind the flipper tab. But it's roomy enough for that. And like I said, not really any hot spots. While aesthetically, I don't love Ultim, I do appreciate the deep milling that they have, kind of this radial milling. It's a nice touch, and it does absolutely provide additional grip. And at 3 ounces, this thing is nice and lightweight. Like, you're not going to forget it's in your pocket, but it's going to be far from cumbersome to carry. This is riding on bearings, and I know I've been flipping it pretty much this whole time, but the action it's so satisfying. And I'm kind of an action snob, but this is so satisfying. You can light switch it, you can push button it. The drop is very controlled. The lock bar access is fine. You've got maybe a 1/4 of an inch to travel, and they kind of knocked it down a little bit, so you're not pushing against anything sharp. So I mean it's fine. And then as far as the drop, it's just a little encouragement, right? It drops quick until the flipper tab hits your thumbnail, and then just a little bit. I could probably one shake it. Yeah. The acoustics. It just sounds so good. Very snappy on the way up, and a nice little kind of a low ting at the bottom. So I'll go ahead and flip this in silence. That way you kind of know if the acoustics are, good for you. Now, how much does this knife cost? So this knife is coming in at $72. And that's because we have, Nitro V, which is a budget steel, and we have Ultim for our handle material, right? So nothing too fancy going on here. And generally, I could recommend this knife, right? I mean, anybody could use it. Mom, dad, brother, sister, cutting boxes, cutting paper. For general, everyday EDC use, this knife is going to be fine. However, within Kizer's own lineup, that same $72 can get you so much more bang for your buck, right? For around that $72 price point, you could get the Kizer Shot at $67. That's coming in 154 cm. Super fidgety. It's one of their newer models. Thumb stud deployment. You have a top flipper, and it's got like this aluminum finish, green and orange. So it looks pretty cool. You can pick up the Mini Mystic. So that's their new crossbar lock, and that comes in Ultim, comes in burlap micarta. Very, very good looking knife. You have the Mini Momo and the full size Momo. All of the variations of the Mini and the full size Momo come in under $80, but I think that would be a better bang for your buck than the Kizer Gemini. So while I can generally recommend this knife for EDC, unless you are in love with the aesthetics, unless this knife just speaks to you, I would recommend any of those other models that I mentioned for about the same price. And those are going to be so much better of value than this Gemini is, right? Now keep in mind, part of that's a little bit of personal preference. I happen to love all three of those models, the Shot, the Mini Mystic, and the Momo. So, but links for this knife, as well as those other new arrivals, are going to be down in the description. That's not an affiliate link, so you can take it or leave it. Makes no difference to me. And sorry, I had a moment there. Please follow me on Instagram at SEVRSEVN7, and please like and subscribe. And that's all we've got. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.